Pit, I have need of you once more.
Hey my arrow-knocking winged warriors! Today we're diving headfirst, or should I say wings spread, into the pixelated depths of a game that's more ancient than your grandma's Tetris high score. Kid Icarus! This little gem from the 8-bit era combines Greek mythology, platforming, and the kind of challenge that makes Dark Souls look like a walk in the Ezzelin fields. So grab your bow and strap on your sandals, because we're about to embark on a quest that's as epic as getting a full night's sleep before a school day. And trust me, in both cases, the gods are not always in your favor. Back in the mid-1980s, the gaming industry was undergoing a renaissance, with Nintendo at the forefront, pioneering what would become some of the most iconic franchises in history. Amidst this golden era, a unique blend of Greek mythology and platforming genius was born. Kid Icarus, the brainchild of Nintendo's R&D1 team, led by the legendary Gunpei Yokoi, the same mastermind behind the Metroid series and the Game Boy. Kid Icarus was a bold endeavor to merge ancient mythology with the burgeoning world of video games. The development of Kid Icarus was a Herculean task, fraught with challenges. The team aimed to create a game that was not just a side-scrolling platformer, but one that also included vertical scrolling levels, a rarity at the time. This ambition pushed the limits of the Nintendo Entertainment System hardware, leading to innovative solutions to overcome technical limitations. For instance, to manage the game's expansive levels and detailed sprites within the NES's limited memory, the developers implemented a clever use of repeating patterns and tile sets, creating illusions of a vast, mythological world without exceeding the system's capabilities. One of the most fascinating aspects of Kid Icarus's development was its inspiration. Unlike many games of its time, Kid Icarus delved deep into Greek mythology, reimagining it through a Nintendo lens. The protagonist, Pit, was inspired by Icarus, the mythological figure who flew too close to the sun. However, Nintendo took creative liberties, transforming Icarus's tragic tale into a heroic quest. Pit's mission to save Angel Land and the goddess Palutena from the evil Medusa introduced gamers to a narrative depth uncommon in the era's titles.
Stop, Goddess of Darkness!
The integration of the password system was another innovative feature, allowing players to return to their game without starting afresh. A nod to the game's challenging nature and a precursor to modern save systems. Despite these innovations, Kid Icarus was a gamble. It was released alongside Metroid, another title developed by R&D1. And while both games shared similar DNA in terms of exploration and upgrade mechanics, Kid Icarus ventured into uncharted territory with its mythological backdrop and vertical scrolling gameplay. At the heart of Kid Icarus lies a cast of characters that are as memorable as they are inspired by Greek mythology, albeit a unique Nintendo twist. Our protagonist, Pit, is a young angel trapped in the underworld, far from his home in the heavens. Unlike the tragic figure of Icarus, who met his demise by flying too close to the sun, Pit's journey is one of ascent, battling through the underworld, the overworld, and the sky world to save Angel Land. His character embodies the classic hero archetype, but with a Nintendo charm that made him instantly relatable to players. Equipped with a bow and arrows, Pit's quest against the forces of darkness captured the imagination of gamers worldwide. The goddess of light, Palutena, serves as both Pit's guide and the game's damsel in distress. However, unlike typical video game tropes, Palutena is portrayed as a powerful figure whose imprisonment directly leads to the land's downfall. This narrative choice added depth to the game's story, emphasizing the importance of the gods in maintaining order, a theme prevalent in the Greek mythologies. The main antagonist, Medusa, is a reinterpretation of the Gorgon from the Greek myths, cursed with a gaze that turns the living into stone. In Kid Icarus, she's the ruler of the underworld, banished by Palutena for her wickedness. only to return with a vengeance. Medusa's character design and motivations were a testament to Nintendo's ability to adapt mythological figures into compelling video game villains. Supporting characters such as the various gods and monsters Pit encounters further enrich the game's world. Each character Pit interacts with, from the shopkeepers to the gods of poverty, adds a layer to the game's narrative, blending humor with mythological references. This approach to storytelling, where even minor characters have memorable traits, contributed to the game's charm and replayability. Kid Icarus's narrative structure, characterized by Pit's journey across different realms, was groundbreaking. It introduced gamers to a world where their actions had consequences, and the progression felt like a true hero's journey. The inclusion of different environments, each with a unique challenge and enemies, kept the gameplay fresh and engaging. Moreover, the game's ending varied depending on the player's performance, a novel concept that added an additional layer of depth and encouraged players to improve their skills. Diving into the labyrinth of Kid Icarus's gameplay mechanics reveals a game that was not only innovative for its time, but also daring in its ambition to blend genres and challenge players in new ways. At its core, Kid Icarus is a side-scrolling platformer, yet it defied conventions by incorporating elements of vertical scrolling in its levels, a feature that was not common in games from the mid-1980s. This mix of vertical and horizontal exploration required players to think differently, looking not just forward but also upward as they navigated Pit through the treacherous landscapes of Angel Land. One of the game's standout features was its RPG elements, which were quite advanced for a platformer of its era. Players could upgrade Pit's health, strength, and abilities by collecting hearts from defeated enemies and finding hidden items throughout the levels. This system added a layer of depth to the gameplay, encouraging exploration and rewarding players for their curiosity and perseverance. The ability to improve Pit's arsenal, from the basic bow to the sacred bow and protective shields, allowed for a sense of progression that was both gratifying and motivating. Kid Icarus also introduced a unique strength through adversity system, where the game's difficulty would adjust based on the player's performance. This meant that the better you played, the harder the game became, a concept that kept players on their toes and added replay value. This dynamic difficulty was a subtle yet effective way to challenge seasoned gamers while still being accessible to newcomers. Moreover, the game was peppered with puzzles and secrets, demanding keen observations and exploration from the player. Hidden doors, mysterious rooms filled with treasures or traps, and cryptic clues from characters added layers of mystery and intrigue to the game. These elements, combined with the challenging platforming and combat, created a rich and engaging gameplay experience that was both rewarding and at times frustratingly difficult. The inclusion of fortresses at the end of each world, each culminating in a boss battle, introduced a level of strategy and skill that required players to utilize all the abilities and knowledge they had accumulated through their journey. These fortresses were mazes in their own right, with puzzles, traps, and enemies that tested the player's mastery of the game. While the game itself is a testament to Nintendo's early foray in blending mythology and gaming, there are layers of intrigue behind the scenes and within the game that many fans may not be aware of. For instance, Kid Icarus has a secret ending that many players might not know about. Achieving a perfect score and fulfilling certain conditions unlocks a special message from developers, a rare feat that only the most dedicated fans have experienced. This hidden ending is a testament to the game's depth and the developer's intentions to reward players for their mastery and dedication. The thing is, when Kid Icarus fluttered onto the NES system in 1987, it embarked on a journey that was as challenging and unpredictable as the game's own labyrinths. In terms of sales performance, Kid Icarus was a bit of a paradox. It didn't achieve the blockbuster status of some of its contemporaries, such as Super Mario Bros. Or The Legend of Zelda, but it sold well enough to establish a dedicated fanbase and secure its place as a beloved classic. The game's unique blend of platforming action, RPG elements, and unforgiving difficulty created a niche appeal that resonated with a segment of the gaming community. Over time, this niche appeal has grown, with Kid Icarus being recognized for its contribution to the gaming landscape and its innovative design. The legacy of Kid Icarus was further revitalized with the release of Kid Icarus Uprising, for the Nintendo 3DS in 2012. This long-awaited sequel brought Pit back into the spotlight, modernizing the franchise with updated graphics, gameplay mechanics, and a rich narrative that paid homage to the original while introducing fresh elements. Uprising not only rekindled interest in Kid Icarus, but also introduced the series to players who had never experienced the original, expanding its fanbase and reinforcing its cultural significance. Moreover, Pit's inclusion as a playable character in the Super Smash Bros. Series has further solidified Kid Icarus' impact on gaming. Through Super Mario Bros., players unfamiliar with Kid Icarus were introduced to Pit, sparking curiosity about his origins and leading many to explore the game that started it all. This cross-pollination of characters among Nintendo's franchises has helped keep Kid Icarus relevant in the ever-evolving landscape of video games. As we wing our way back to the present, it's clear that Kid Icarus has flown higher than Icarus himself ever dreamed, without getting too close to the sun, mind you. From its mythological roots to its pixelated perfect leaps, this game has etched itself into the halls of gaming history with the grace of an arrow from Pit's own bow. It's a tale of triumph, challenge, and the kind of quirky charm that only a game daring enough to turn its hero into an eggplant could muster. So, whether you're a seasoned veteran of Angel Land or a curious newcomer ready to spread your wings, remember, in the world of Kid Icarus, the sky's not the limit, it's just the beginning. And who knows, maybe one day we'll get another sequel, before we all turn to stone waiting. If you enjoyed this flight back into the history of Kid Icarus, click this video here to see more from the Retro Reload. And as always, thank you for watching.